School is in session. Here we are at the special Strixhaven sneak peek here on Weekly MTG. I'm one of your hosts, Steve Sanu, and right next to me, virtually, is Chris Peeler. How you doing, Chris?
Hey, doing all right, Steve.
And as you
Glad to
might
be
notice,
here.
Blake is not here this week. Blake is officially out on parental leave. That's right. So he'll be back in a couple of months. We miss him very much and wish that he is. Hope that he's doing very well with his brand new kids. So
Yeah, we'll see how
we have
much
a
sleep he's
lot.
getting.
I doubt he's getting any sleep. So here we go. I know what you guys want to get to. We've got a lot to get through. You can see on the ticker at the bottom, we've got so much stuff for you to sneak peek for Strixhaven. But first, we want to go over a couple of news items that you might have missed this week. First of all, in Secret Layer news, we've got the Smitten Super Drop going on right now. So if you want to check out all the stuff that's in the Smitten Super Drop, you can head to secretlayer.wizards.com. Check out all the really cool stuff there. Some really great secret layers for a lot of different types of art fans. Secondly, we revealed the last two cards from the Secret Layer Black is Magic drop. That one's going to be available starting on February 22nd all the way through March 31st. Here you see Soul Ring and Path of Ancestry, and there are 5 other cards that are coming down the line that you'll be able to pre-order starting on February 22nd. Proceeds going to Black Girls Code. And finally, some of you might have noticed this, there was a banned and restricted announcement this week that was pretty comprehensive. You can see the results of that here, but I'd encourage you to check it out on Daily MTG to check out the justification from Ian Duke and Jay Parker, the game director for Magic the Gathering Arena, as to the historic bans and the rest of the formats. But y'all aren't here for that news. You're here for the news of the Strixhaven sneak peek, and boy, do we have a sneak peek for you. Chris, we're going to be going through all 5 colleges today, and people are going to
Yes.
be able to see a little bit of the card content from the set as well.
Yeah. Strixhaven is just a great time. Set on the Strixhaven is the college. The set takes place on a plane called Arcavios, and the school of Strixhaven is divided into 5 different colleges that all have sort of separate subject matter expertise, sort of similar to like college majors. Honestly, it's a very sort of similar vibe that you got going on.
Yeah, so we're going to go through each of these colleges. You saw, if you tuned in prior to the actual broadcast, you got to see some of those graphics. We're going to show them again one at a time. We're going to start with Lorehold. Producer Sean, go ahead and throw that out there. Lorehold, so the students of Lorehold are researchers, daring adventurers, scholars that are obsessed with history. They explore the past by poring over archaeological artifacts, summoning long dead spirits. And for some students, this past is sort of a rich tapestry worthy of disciplined study, and others wear that tapestry sort of like a cape as they jump down into a forgotten tomb. So their motto is "Leave no stone unturned." And here is an example of some of the powerful magic that Lorehold wields. Now that's a really
First off,
cool
let's
image.
let's just pause and take a look here. There's a lot to break in. All kinds of different scholars and mages from throughout this plane coming to Strixhaven, and just a great little group shot here. Kind of reminiscent of, I don't know, like maybe some of the cool group shots that we saw in Cons of Tarkir. Maybe, I don't know, just throwing things out there.
Well, I'm pretty sure we can. We know what the people want. Let's go. Let's
All
show
right,
let's show
all
them
right,
what they
make it
want.
happen.
That's right. We have a command for Lorehold. It's Lorehold command, and it does a lot of things. It does a lot of things, but you get to choose 2 of them in that classic command tradition. A lot of things going on here, Chris. This feels a lot like what you would expect to see from a red-white color pairing.
Yeah, no, this is sort of a classic set of things. Both, uh, like the commands are always really exciting because they always provide something. Sort of when you're ahead or behind, there's the modality of them and the flexibility of them is sort of what makes them super exciting. So regardless of what the board state looks like, there's probably going to be something useful for you to do here. So you have tokens that can sort of help you establish your board presence. That sort of team pump effect is going to be really great for trying to sort of swing in for lethal or even as a defensive measure against big board wipes and that sort of thing. And then that last mode is pretty exciting. It's something we don't typically see out of red and white, being able to sort of trade one resource for another. In this case, sacrificing a permanent to draw some cards. Not gonna lie, when I first saw this, it really felt to me like super chonky Boros charm in a way that I really loved. So I'm definitely going to have a couple of different decks that I'm excited to slot this one into.
And also, please notice that lovely watermark that is the Lorehold College insignia, and you'll see that on some of the Lorehold cards that you'll see later on in preview season when we start that up. This is, of course, just a sneak peek. I kind of want to troll chat and say that's all we've got for them, but it's definitely not. Let's move on to the next. Okay. Yes, there is more. Let's move on to the next college. That college is Prismari. So think of Prismari as sort of the theater kids of Strixhaven School of Mages. Magic is how they express themselves. Their spells can be, massive spectacles of raw creativity or, artistic expressions. The Prismari like to think of the world as a stage, much like the actors, and whether their art is informed by mind or emotion, Prismari are always going to leave a lasting impression. Their motto is express yourself with the elements, and I bet you know what's coming next. We're going to show a little piece of art here of the Prismari magic in action. Let's check it out. Very cool.
Look at that. Great group shot there. Yeah, you gotta love it. The colors, there is a lot of color going on here. The Prismari in particular are very focused on visual arts, as a matter of fact. Visual arts and maybe some others, we'll see as time goes on. But yeah, they are definitely the art crowd of Strixhaven.
And let's give the people what they want. Let's take a look at the card that this art is associated with. As you might have guessed, it's Prismari Command. That's right, it's another command. You've got choose 2. Prismari Command deals 2 damage to any target. Target player draws 2 cards, then discard 2 cards. Target player creates a treasure token or destroy target artifact. Chris, a lot to unpack here. What's going on?
Whew! Oh boy, those first 2 modes alone. Like if it stopped after the second bullet point here, I would already be sold. Maybe not quite the same level of blowouts that you could get from something like Electrolyze in very good situations, but like just being able to ping a utility creature or, hit a little bit to the dome and then keep filtering through your deck. Discarding cards is often huge. There's tons of ways that you can take advantage of things entering your graveyard. And then you just happen to have 2 other good modes on top of that. Making artifacts, making artifact tokens is often the thing that people like to mess around with. And there's lots of fun things you can do just by having an artifact in play, much less one that makes you mana. And then, just a little shatter effect on top, just for spice as a little treat.
I love it. I love the treat. It's really good. Delicious.
It's a good
anyway, Prismari Yep. Prismari Command, this is obviously part of the cycle. It won't surprise you to hear that there are 5 colleges and we have 5 cards to show today. We're 2 out of the 5 done. Let's move on and see if people can guess what the name of the next card is going to be. But let's move on to the next college here. Next is Quandrix. Math is magic. You can see it right there. That is, of course, the Quandrix motto. You might not be surprised to hear that they are ingenious math magicians. That is in my show notes here, math magicians. I didn't just come up with that pun. They study patterns, fractals, symmetries to command power over fundamental forces of nature. They'll solve, one of those puzzle cubes while contemplating the metaphysical properties of the universe, and they can recite every number of pi backwards. So that is the Quandrix. Here's an example and a visual example of them casting some Quandrix magic. You can see those fractals and patterns.
Yeah, what I love about Quandrix is that, there's this, sort of shape language that defines all of their magic. There's this, strong sort of like mathematical Fibonacci sequence sort of vibe that goes on with all of their magic. But there's also sort of an element of mysticism in the way that they study math and practice math magic, which just feels really fitting to me. I sort of love that vibe of math that is also sort of like reverent towards the deep mysteries of the universe. It's super cool.
Well, let's show the people what they want. Let's take a look at the actual Quandrix command. You can see it here. Choose 2, return target creature or planeswalker to its owner's hand, counter target artifact or enchantment spell, put 2+1/+1 counters on target creature, and finally target player shuffles up to 3 target cards from their graveyard into their library. Lots of things going on here as well, Chris, as a command cycle, right? Like a lot of things going on. Break it down for us. What do you think the utility of this one is going to be?
I mean, it is every utility. It is all the utilities. Now, for me personally, like I'm just a big fan of an unsummon. I'm the kind of simple sort of just real straightforward kind of person that loves to bounce something and swing in for a good chunk of damage. So just like having the base mode being like, hey, return something to its hand and then slap some counters on something. That's just very, very appealing to sort of my inner lizard brain. But outside of that, you're talking about, something that's going to have a lot of utility. It's cheap enough that it can fit into a lot of different decks and strategies. Like, this strikes me as the kind of thing where pretty rare that it's going to be a dead card. And looking at that last mode there, I've never been like the biggest fan of the I'm trying to remember the old Gaia's. What's the name of that card, Steve? Gaia's something or other.
Gaia's Blessing, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. The old Gaia's Blessing, grind them into oblivion, toss stuff into your graveyard, into your deck, sort of thing. But somebody is looking at that mode right now, and they are very excited about it. Maybe not necessarily my jam, but I respect it. I respect the hustle.
All right, let's move on here to the next college. We've got Silver Quill, Sharp Style, Sharper Wit. Silver Quills are word mages. They wield the magic of words, from inspiring battle poetry to, of course, biting arcane insults. Stylish, intimidating, tirelessly competitive. These are mages that are born leaders with a razor-sharp wit and natural charisma that can be used for good or for ill, as you can see from their lovely, lovely motto, Sharp Style, Sharper Wit. And here's an example of what Silver Quill magic looks like.
Look at those guys.
So a lot of ink manipulation there.
I was gonna say, I need us to pause and just take a look at all of these little ink creatures that are chilling out with this Silver Quill mage right here. Like, I want to be friends with all of those little critters, please.
Well, let's see what Silver Quill Command looks like. Let's go ahead and zoom out. Silver Quill Command costs 2 generic mana, a white and a black. Choose 2. Target creature gets +3/+3 and gains flying until end of turn. Return target creature card with mana value 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Target player draws a card and loses 1 life. Target opponent sacrifices a creature. Now, Chris, before we get into the utility of this card, there is a term there that is new, and it's mana value.
Yes.
What exactly is mana value, Chris?
So mana value is a new term that you're going to start seeing on cards starting with Strixhaven going forward, and it is literally the same thing as converted mana cost. It's a wording change that it sort of hopes to streamline and simplify things a little bit, especially to new players. Converted mana cost is a very mathy kind of term, and mana value sort of gestures a little bit closer to what CMC actually is, and it also frankly just saves up some card space. So kind of like the old comes into play and battlefield terminology, exile and removed from the game, this is just a way to sort of compact that language a little bit, and you're going to start seeing this on Strixhaven going forward. So anytime you see mana value, exactly the same as converted mana cost, nothing different there.
So yeah, you'll be seeing mana value on cards in Strixhaven moving forward. Enjoy the saved card space for more text if we need it. Now, Chris, let's talk a little bit about the modes in this. What do you think of this card? What's going on with it?
So first thing to note is that it is a sorcery compared to the other ones. A lot of these commands are instants, but Silver Quill Command is a sorcery. So bear that in mind. So this one's a little bit funky. I was not sure what to think of it when I first saw it, but I am already looking at the way that these numbers line up, and I am really looking forward to getting hit with exactsies for this in limited, like, +3/+3 in evasion on a creature, getting Sign in Blood for 1. That's probably like a good 6 damage easy. That's just going to hit me out of nowhere. So card seems cool, but I'm also looking forward to not expecting to lose to it and then promptly losing to it immediately. That's my hot take.
Makes sense. And there are a lot of cases where you can grab a creature from the graveyard to the battlefield and have your opponent sacrifice a creature to make a nice trade there in the correct situation. So it being at sorcery speed definitely limits the ability for you to use it in tricksy ways, but still a good card and lots of options available to you. Let's move on to the final college, Witherbloom. Witherbloom, their motto is, of course, get your hands dirty. Think of these college goers as goth biomagers. They draw power from the essence of living beings, whether that means enhancing nature or exploiting it. So Witherbloom mages are most at home riding zombie crocodiles, picking herbs for potions, and hanging out in their swamp making grim jokes. So with that in mind, let's take a look at what it looks like for the Witherbloom to cast their version of Magic. This is what it looks like.
Ah, look at these. I want to hang out with all these people. This is my crew. This is the gang right here.
This is it's fun to see the sort of squad of all the different colleges coming out on this art. Let's go ahead and zoom out and take a look at Witherbloom Command. Witherbloom Command costs 1 black and 1 green mana. It's a sorcery and choose 2. Target player mills 3 cards, then you return a land card from your graveyard to your hand. Or destroy target non-creature, non-land permanent with mana value 2 or less. There's that mana value again. Or target creature gets -3/-1 until end of turn. Or target opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. This is a lot that you can do for 2 mana at sorcery speed, Chris.
Yeah, no. I mean, looking at something this cheap that has this many different kinds of effects, I mean, Eternal formats spring to mind pretty immediately. Like, when you're talking about that second mode there, like a lot of relevant cards in formats like Modern and even Pioneer to an extent, they don't cost very much. So seeing, destroy target non-creature, non-land, you're looking at a lot of valid targets that you can potentially hit with that one. And then there's just a whole bunch of other upside value that you get out of that. I mean, it's green and black. Surprise. There might be some ways to do something with your graveyard if you mill those 3 cards, even if it's not just returning a land. So just a huge potential ceiling on this one for the kinds of value you can get out of one spell.
Absolutely. So those are all of the commands that we're going to be revealing today. And you can see them all here. These will also be available later on today after the show is over on Daily MTG. So if you want a screen cap, you can go ahead, but they'll also be available in a much more accessible version on Daily MTG later today after the show. So check them out. That's your basic introduction to the colleges of Strixhaven. So yeah, lots to unpack there, but there's still more that we have to show. We're not done yet. We also want to show you the packaging that you're going to see for Strixhaven, if we can go ahead and pull that up. You can see here we've got a lot of different products coming for Strixhaven, including draft boosters, set boosters, theme boosters, and the bundle. There will also be collector boosters for Strixhaven as well. Those are not currently pictured here. So lots of different ways to enjoy Strixhaven here. You can see some familiar faces on some of that packaging, but the focus
a couple of folks you might recognize there.
Yeah, the focus is definitely going to be on those colleges and the students that make up those colleges. So very, very exciting for that. Another exciting thing for Strixhaven is Commander 2021 edition will be Strixhaven themed. So while we can't show you any of the face cards right now, we can tell you that there will be 5 Commander decks, each based on a college of Strixhaven. The decks will be named Silverquill Statement, Prismari Performance, Witherbloom Witchcraft, Lorehold Legacies, and Quantum Quandrix. And again, this will all be published on Daily MTG in an article later on today after the show. We can't show you the face cards, obviously, because they contain secrets that we're not quite ready to reveal yet. But you're going to notice the other thing that we can tell you right now is that you're going to notice some differences with the packaging for Commander decks, starting with Strixhaven. As part of a larger push toward moving away from plastic packaging, Commander decks available through your local game store will use reduced plastic packaging. Only the wrap around the cards themselves will be plastic, and we are, of course, working on updating that as well. So we'll have more to share about that as we get closer to the release of Strixhaven, but wanted to make sure that we told you that, and that's also information that will be available in the Daily MTG article coming up after the show.
Yeah, no,
so
we hear
normally
from folks looking...
No, go ahead.
Go
go
on.
ahead. What's up?
You know what? I was about to say something, but I realized I looked at the ticker again, and I see that we have the business coming up. We do.
We have a little bit more business coming here. So we've gone over the 5 colleges of Strixhaven. We've shown you a little bit of the product packaging, but that's not the only thing that's happening with this particular set. We're really excited today to introduce to you the concept of the Strixhaven Mystical Archive. So what is the Strixhaven Mystical Archive? That's a great question. So this collection contains a massive amount of spells. Not a massive amount, but a lot of spells from, simple mind spells to more powerful and deadly spells that people might recognize. And we're going to We're going to show you some of them today. They are going to have a special treatment. So let's bring up the first one that we're going to show you today. We're going to show you 3 exactly, and then no more than that. So you're going to have to wait. But the first one we're going to show you is a blue spell. It's a blue spell that a lot of you will recognize from Dominaria when it entered the modern format as well as standard. It's Opt, right? Opt, pretty simple. Scry 1, draw a card. Opt will have a very special Mystical Archive version that we're going to show you right now.
Looks a little bit like that.
Yeah, it's going to have this special frame treatment with a special art version of it. And these will be applied to spells throughout Magic's history. And you can see at the very bottom, instead of STX, which is the set code for Strixhaven, it says STA. So this is technically another set within Strixhaven that will not be a part of standard. All cards will be legal in formats that they're already legal in. And the thing about Mystical Archive cards is, for limited, the same rule applies that would apply when we did masterpieces for, I think it was Battle for Zendikar block and Kaladesh block.
Kaladesh block,
if it shows up in your limited pool, you can take it in the pack.
You can take it.
The other thing about
play it in your deck just like you could any other card. Yep.
Exactly. Now, the other thing about Mystical Archive cards is we know that there are going to be a lot of questions, so there is a separate article on Mystical Archive that is going to be published as well. But the long and the short of it is, these are going to be available there's one in each pack of draft boosters and set boosters.
Yes, there's guaranteed one in every draft pack. There's going to be one in set boosters, and there's going to be more than one in collector boosters. So that'll be very exciting. So I see. I'm looking at chat here. There's a lot of folks talking about masterpieces. Similar in idea, but you're going to see these way more often, and they're going to have
very different in execution.
Very, very big impact on the limited format, which is going to be a ton of fun.
Yeah. So obviously these are going to be available pretty widespread. They do have different rarities, and there are different cards across different rarities. We're going to show you another one right now. It's a card that a lot of people are going to recognize. It's Swords to Plowshares, which we just printed in Commander Legends.
Yeah.
But there is, of course, a different version of this for Mystical Archive. Let's go ahead and show that. Swords to Plowshares. Once again, that really cool art style and that amazing new frame that we've got going on.
Oh yeah, look at that artist credit there. Maybe a familiar name to folks. Mark.
Yeah, perhaps people might know this Mark Tedden person. There are 63 cards in Mystical Archive, as you can see from the collector number down there. I see a couple of questions about the Mystical Archive and how it's going to interact with Magic the Gathering Arena. So the Mystical Archive is going to be available in Strixhaven drafts on Magic the Gathering Arena. A handful of these cards will not join Historic for power level reasons, and there's going to be more to share on that when previews begin in March. But you can rest assured that they will be available in Strixhaven drafts, so that you'll still be able to have that draft experience, but some of the cards are not going to join Historic. Let's... Go ahead, Chris.
Oh yeah, no, so just to iterate what we're seeing in chat here. Some of these cards aren't going to be in Historic for power level concerns, but the rest of them coming right in. So it's a nice little extra bonus to the Historic format, in addition to just being a reprint. Same as any other reprint, it won't impact format legality anywhere else. But boy, are they gonna they're gonna do some things in draft. It's gonna be a good time.
It's really true. And we said this earlier, but it bears saying again, one Mystical Archive card will come in every draft booster and every set booster. So these will occur. You'll get, if you get 3 packs, 3 draft boosters, you will get 3 Mystical Archive cards. If you get 3 set boosters, you'll get 3 Mystical Archive cards. So yeah, there's a lot to like there. I did say we had 3 cards coming up. We're not going to show it just yet. No, I think we should make them wait. Should we make them wait?
Oh, that's mean. That's mean, man. Come on, just give the people what they want.
Okay, we'll give the people what they want.
For it.
This is a card that I think a lot of people are going to be excited to see. It is a classic Magic spell. It's something that I think a lot of longtime Magic players will recognize on sight. We're going to show you the most recent printing of it first, and then, of course, we'll do the cool transition over to the artwork for the Mystical Archive version. Here's the card that we can show you today. It's Demonic Tutor.
Oh, oops.
That's right. Demonic Tutor. And I'm sure everybody really wants to see the Mystical Archive version, so let's show it to them.
Look
This
at
is
that.
what Demonic Tutor looks like in Mystical Archive. So again, these go across different rarities, and you'll be able to get one Mystical Archive card per draft booster and per set booster, and there will be more than one in the collector booster as well. So
Yeah, more
we're
to share
really
on that
looking forward
as we
to
go along. Yeah.
yeah, and we're really looking forward to showing you more of these as we continue throughout preview season. They will exist in foil. They will exist in foil. I can tell you that. So, producer Sean, let's go back and show the 3 cards that we just showed in Mystical Archive form. So these will exist in foil, and in collector boosters, they will also exist in foil etched. So there will be regular, there will be non-foil, foil, and foil etched versions of the Mystical Archive cards.
Yeah, that'll be super exciting. I know that there were a lot of people that were stoked to see the foil etch treatment for cards in Commander Legends collector boosters. So we're gonna see something very similar for the Mystical Archive. That'll be rad to check out. We'll have pictures and videos to share of what that looks like. Probably a little bit closer to when full previews begin, but trust me, they're gonna be good.
And you'll be able to find a lot of this information, in fact, all of this information on the articles that we'll be posting to Daily MTG shortly, actually. So you'll be able to see that pretty soon here. The other thing that we should mention, I got to find it in my notes, is that, oh, maybe not. Maybe we covered everything. Yeah, I think we did.
Yeah,
there is one more thing. So this is actually not everything that we have to say about Strixhaven. Later on today, in addition to all the information that we just talked to you about, so later on this evening, the Japanese team is going to be revealing something really cool that has to do with Strixhaven. So you're going to want to stay tuned to that. We can't tell you right now, but stay tuned. It will be before the end of the day today. So closer to the evening time.
Now, Yep. A couple of hours from now, West Coast time, we'll have another update on Daily MTG for something pretty cool that you're going to want to check out. Keep your eyes peeled. We'll be sure to post it on social when it happens. You're not going to miss it. Looking at a couple of folks in chat right now. So actually, Sean, can we pull up the Mystical Archive Demonic Tutor again there? Just real quick. So you'll notice a small wording change here as well. Shuffle. That is a new thing they're going to start seeing on different cards. Sort of a templating change going forward. No longer going to see shuffle your library. When we talk about shuffling, it's pretty much always going to be talking about shuffling your library, except in the cases where you're going to be shuffling like another different smaller subsection of cards, like, putting things on the bottom in a random order, that sort of thing. That language is probably going to stay the same, but shuffling always refers to shuffling your library. For chat, freaking out. Nothing changing. It's exactly functionally the same. It's just, saving some space, cutting off a word. Shuffle means shuffle. You shuffle your library. Same idea.
So lots of questions coming in. Lots of people in the chat talking about the information we revealed today. So a lot of these questions are going to get answered in the articles later today. There is an article that goes deeper on Mystical Archive that you're definitely going to want to check out. So please do that. The information that's coming from our Japanese team is not going to be on Twitch. It will be via an article on Daily MTG. So keep an eye out for that. What else? What else is going on? Let's see. Lots of questions here. If you do have a question, please do put it in chat. We're doing our best to flag them as we see them, but if we miss it, I do apologize. So let's take a look here and see what's going on. I do want to reiterate the Magic the Gathering Arena news for the Mystical Archive, which is that it will be available in Strixhaven drafts on MTG Arena, but a handful of these cards are not going to join Historic for power level reasons. And of course, we'll have more to share about that when previews begin in March. Let's see here.
And just to reiterate here, seeing some more talk about where these cards are showing up. Mystical Archive cards, again, one in every draft booster and one in every set booster. There's going to be more than one in each collector booster, but we're not quite ready to share all those details yet. We'll have more to talk about as we get a little bit closer. But yes, one in every draft booster.
Yeah, and we should be really clear. There are definitely thematic similarities to the Masterpiece series, but this is not a part of the Masterpiece series. This is not meant to be a replication
Nope.
of it. It's meant to be something new. So the Mystical Archive should not be referred to as masterpieces, basically in any way. It's a very different execution of how we've done things in the past. It's something completely new. So again,
Yeah,
one
in
in
fact, it's
every
a lot
draft booster,
closer.
one in every set booster.
Yeah, in fact, it's a lot closer to sort of what we talked about before with, Throne of Eldraine, with Call Time, with, a lot of sets in the last 18 months, showcase cards. This is sort of our new way of talking about cool showcase cards.
Right.
Same sort of series and style, but just a little bit, going to see it a little bit more frequently than we have with some of the other things that we've done recently.
Absolutely. So Mystical Archives will not replace rares in draft boosters unless it itself is a rare. I believe you should take a look at the Mystical Archive article for more information on Daily MTG. In fact, it should be going up pretty shortly here.
Yep.
So we are going to, again, this is meant to be a sneak peek. We can't answer every question about everything right now because Strixhaven is going to have its own full preview season, and you'll be able to see everything. So, there is that. And of note, there are different rarities of Mystical Archive cards. So there are common, uncommon, rare, and mythic rare Mystical Archive cards. And I believe that the way that it works is if it is the Mystical Archive card, it will replace the rarity for the card in which it already should have been. Let's see here. Are they just spells? Yes, they are just spells. These are
right.
These are
we sort of buried
63
the lead there
different
a little
spells.
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are
All
63 different spells.
instant...
You won't see any creatures. Yep.
Yeah, instants and sorceries. Yeah, to be specific. Yeah, kind of buried the lead on that one. Apologies.
We did.
Yeah.
Let's see here. So a lot of I see somebody asking about Time Spiral remastered previews. Those begin next week, in fact.
Next week we'll have more to talk about for those.
Let's see here. Let's see.
Oh boy.
One in every booster. Yes, one in every booster. Lots of things here.
So I'm seeing somebody ask any showcase cards. These are the showcase cards for Strixhaven.
Yes,
the Mystical Archive.
These are the showcase cards. Do you know where the Strixhaven set takes place? It takes place on the plane of Arcavios, which is a plane we've never visited before.
Yeah, I'm going to have lots more to share about sort of what the world looks like and more story info as we kick off preview season in March.
Is Strixhaven standard legal? Yes, Strixhaven is standard legal.
Correct.
I'm looking for questions we can answer. Let's see. Looking for questions we can answer.
Yeah, not
so.
A ton here
to clarify what I just said, Strixhaven itself, Strixhaven School of Mages, is standard legal. The Mystical Archive is a separate coding, and those cards will not be legal in standard. They will only be legal in the formats that they're already legal in. So Strixhaven School of Mages, standard legal. Yeah.
Yeah, think of them strictly as reprints. That's why they have a different expansion symbol, and that's why they have a different sort of 3-letter code in the bottom of the card. So if you're ever confused, just look at the expansion symbol, and that'll tell you everything you need.
For people that are asking questions about how the Mystical Archive is going to work in Magic the Gathering Arena, there is going to be more information on that as we get closer into preview season. We'll have more to share with you later, but right now we don't have any more information for you on that. Let's see here.
Seeing a lot of, I don't know, perhaps maybe you could qualify to spam, maybe, about oversized Commander cards. Don't have anything else to share about Commander at this point, just that, yep, we have college-themed Commander decks that are coming alongside Strixhaven, and that sort of extra note on sort of the change in the packaging options that you might notice in product images and that sort of thing, but nothing else to share about Commander at this time. Don't have to wait, sorry.
Is the list coming back? Yes, the list will be coming back for set boosters.
The list will be in set boosters, very similar to Call Time. There's going to be a couple of updates, some cards coming in, some cards coming out, but same implementation that you've seen in Call Time set boosters. We'll have more to share about that in March.
Yes. Let's see here. Lots of really good questions, y'all, but not a lot of them that we can actually answer. Again, this is meant to be a sneak peek. This isn't the official kickoff of Strixhaven, so there's a lot that we can't share. Are there mystical archive commons? We only saw uncommon, rare, and mythic. I believe that yes, there are mystical archive commons.
Yep.
Let's see. They go across all 4 rarities: common, uncommon, rare, and mythic rare.
Yep.
Is it possible to get foils for mystical archive and draft and set boosters? I believe so.
That information should be in the article, I believe. But yes, I think that is possible. Last I checked.
I believe that's the case.
Yep, similar to
mana value versus converted mana cost. Why? Mana value, it's the same thing that we did when we changed from comes into play to enters the battlefield. It's a little more thematic, and also it saves some characters on the card text that allow us to space out things a little bit differently. So that is I believe that's the reason why we did it, right, Chris?
Yeah, no, that's definitely what they were going for. Just saving a little bit of room on cards for templating purpose, and also just, converted mana cost is just kind of a mouthy, weird term that doesn't quite describe the way, the mechanic actually plays out. So mana value gets a little bit closer to that. It's still sort of hard to grok. Like it's not an easy term to come to terms with immediately, but it's ever so slightly closer to that vibe of something a little bit simpler and more straightforward.
Let's see. Will online Magic Story be a thing? Yes.
Yep.
Let's see.
Oh boy.
Are all archive cards reprints? Yes, all mystical archive cards will be reprints of spells from Magic's past.
Instants and sorceries from Magic's history. Yep.
Let's see here. Do you play mystical archive cards in your draft deck? Yes, in limited, you can. They are perfectly legal to put into your limited deck, so it is possible that you will see out of nowhere a Swords to Plowshares on your Strixhaven creature.
Yeah, a whole extra batch of things you're gonna have to play around in the limited environment. It's pretty wild. It's a whole other ball game added to a limited format.
Let's see here. Lots of questions. Keep them coming. We're trying to find ones that we can answer.
Yeah, no, it's
so once again, it is only instants and sorceries. It is not any castable card type. The Mystical Archive only covers instants and sorceries through Magic's history. Let's see here. Will Time Spiral be on Arena? No, Time Spiral Remastered will not be on Magic the Gathering Arena.
Yeah, Time Spiral Remastered is a paper product, not coming to Arena.
What does Chris do for his job? Chris, what do you do for your job? If you are interested in Chris's job, I will quickly say that you should check out the VOD of last week's show, where all the community managers got to come on and talk about what they do. But Chris, what is your job? What do you do for Magic?
Right. Yeah, no, I realize that a lot of people are here that were not here last week for our sort of roundtable discussion from the community team. But yeah, I am one of the community managers for tabletop play. So I focus a lot on the sort of physical tabletop game of Magic. I do a lot of different social media work across, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I'm one of the folks behind the WotC community team handle on the subreddit. So I just do a little bit of everything when it comes to social media here at Wizards for Magic. So my job is really the big thing is being that person that sort of facilitates the conversations that are happening in the community and circulates that on the inside of the building. Lots of internal reporting so that the company really gets that sort of clear pipeline between what's going on the internet and then what's going on the inside. So that's me in a nutshell.
Let's see here. Are there any? Demonic Tutor will not be legal in Standard because it is in the Mystical Archive set and not Strixhaven. So it is legal in all the formats it's already legal in. It will not be legal in Standard.
Yep, that is correct. Someone asking if I had any part in the legacy bans. No, I did a lot of reporting on what people were talking about with regards to legacy, but that is entirely the work of the Studio X teams. They are definitely the ones that hold the keys to that car.
Okay. So I'm seeing a lot of repeat questions. So just to go over some of the hot button topics while we're still on the air. One, Yes, the Mystical Archive will be available in Magic the Gathering Arena Strixhaven drafts. A handful of these cards won't join Historic for power level reasons, and we'll have more to share when previews begin in March. Mystical Archives, the Mystical Archive, I believe, again, please check the article, but should take the rarity slots of the cards that they are. So if you get a common Mystical Archive card in the pack, it will replace a common in the pack. If you get an uncommon, it will replace an uncommon. If you get a rare, it will replace a rare or mythic rare. It will replace the rare or mythic rare. When in March is preview season officially starting? Stay tuned.
March-ish.
So lots of good questions. I'm way far behind, just trying to catch things up here. But could we take a look at the Mystical Archive cards again, producer Sean? So here they are. You can see from the collector number that there will be 63 Mystical Archive cards, and all of them span different rarities. And we don't have a number breakdown for you just yet. You're going to have to speculate and guess, but we'll have more to share with you as we continue to move towards preview season. So once we're in preview season for Strixhaven, you'll be able to see that. Are there any archive cards from Strixhaven? You'll have to wait and see. Which college is your favorite? Chris, which college is your favorite out of the 5?
Oh, dang. This is tough for me because, like, I feel in terms of, like, my subject matter and what things I like, you know, I'm a talky person. I'm a kind of person who does a lot of writing. So I'm more of a silver quill in terms of my my expertise and what I like to do. But man, the goth kids, they've always been close to my heart. I've always hung out. I've always been like the one token dork that hangs out with a lot of the punk and goth kids. Like I'm the random normie that shows up to a punk show. So I feel the Witherbloom kids a lot, and I like them a whole deal. But I'm probably more of a silver quill if I'm going to be honest with myself. How about you?
I'm not sure yet. I'm really not. Honestly, I'm probably Prismari.
I was gonna say. I have seen you at karaoke. You're a Prismari. Don't kid yourself, man. You've got a story that needs to come out. You have a voice that needs to sing, Steve Suno. You can't hide from me.
Oh my goodness. So a lot of people asking for a lot of information about a lot of different things. I can't tell you anything else about Strixhaven than what we've already told you or what's already in the articles. I'm sorry. I want to. I really want to, and I can't wait to tell you more. But for now, we're going to have to put a pin in it until Strixhaven preview season, because we are going to be starting Time Spiral Remastered previews next week. And in fact, we will be previewing some cards from Time Spiral Remastered on this very show next week. So you should definitely come by and see that. A lot of questions about Strixhaven, asking about new mechanics. I'm sorry, we can't tell you anything about that just yet. I would love to, believe me, but they'd probably fire me, so I don't want to get fired.
Yeah, no, we were pretty cool with these jobs, and I'm in the boat of keeping them. Like that's kind of what I'm feeling right now.
Are there watermarks for each college? Yes, there are watermarks for each college. Can we put up the picture of the commands again? You can see the watermarks there. See all the symbols of all the different colleges that are there. Could you give any clues about the history of Strixhaven? Unfortunately, no. I would love to, but I can't. Mystical Archives will come in draft boosters. Yes, Mystical Archives will come in draft boosters. There will be one per draft booster. Mystical Archive cards replace the rare cards in draft boosters if they're rare? I believe the answer is yes, that if whatever rarity the Mystical Archive cards are is the rarity that they will replace in the draft or set booster pack. So we'll run through these commands one more time.
One more, continuing to look at chat. The announcement from our Japanese team is not going to be a stream, but there will be a daily MTG article that goes up later this evening, West Coast time. So stay tuned. It'll be up in a little bit, but it's really something super exciting that our Japan team wanted to be the first to share. However, we will blast it far and wide when it does happen. So stay tuned for that one.
All right. We're getting towards a lot of repeat questions and a lot of questions that I can't answer. So we're going to finish up running
Yep.
through all the things that we did through here. We'll end on this lovely Mystical Archive shot of the 3 cards that we're revealing today. Very excited to reveal more about Mystical Archive, but also very excited to talk more about Time Spiral Remastered next week. Thank you all so much for your questions and for your comments. I am sorry that we couldn't answer a lot of them. There are just some things that we're not ready to talk about. But I appreciate y'all showing up and taking up your time to see what's going on with Strixhaven for this special sneak peek. We'll be back next week with Time Spiral Remastered previews, and after that, you'll have to just wait and see. So thank you all so much, and thank you for showing up, and we hope that you have a lovely day, and make sure to stay tuned to Daily MTG, not just for the articles that we just published, but for that special extra thing coming from the Japanese team later on today. I'm Steve Sanu. This is Chris Peeler,
and I'm Chris Peeler.
Have a great day.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing your time with us. We will see you again soon.